Hi guys, it's your girl Shanika, and I'm coming to you today to update you and also to vent a little bit. Okay, so this is about weight loss surgery. In December of 2010, I had lap band surgery, and so right now it's December of 2012, so it's been exactly 2 years. In those 2 years, I have not lost but about 15 pounds. And I've lost more than that. I've been fluctuating the entire time, but what I'm saying is right now, today, at this current point in time, if you were to weigh me, I'm 15 pounds down from where I initially started. So I started at 242 pounds, and today I weigh myself and I'm 227 pounds. So why is it that 2 years ago I was only 15 pounds heavier? That doesn't make any sense to me if I've had weight loss surgery. I don't get it. So they're telling me, you have to do other things too. You have to work out, you have to drink water, you have to eat right. And I know those are the components that it takes to lose weight, but I didn't know you had to also like go hard or go home with those components when it came to the lap band. Because see, the lap band is a tool. I must agree, it's not going to perform on its own. You need it meet it halfway. But at the same time, if you're telling me I need to drink water, work out, eat healthy, I could have done those things by themselves and they would have worked. So I'm not one of those people who expects it to do the work for me. I'm more than capable and I'm more than happy to meet it halfway, but you're telling me to do the exact same things that normal people do to lose weight. Anyway, so really in these 2 years, 9 months of those 2 years I was pregnant, so that doesn't really count. So really it's 2 years minus 9 months, so more like a year and 3 months I've had it where it was actively being used. And the 9 months, the good thing about the lap band is that it's adjustable. So I was able to take all of the liquid out of it, and it was in there, but it was not active. And the other year and 3 months, it was in there and it was being used, and there was actual liquid in there. So I always feel like I have to explain the lap band, like what it is, what its purpose is, what it does, how it functions and stuff, for people who have not watched any of my other previous videos about my weight loss surgery. But it's basically it's like a circular piece like this around the top of the stomach. And think of an inner tube, the big plastic donut looking thing that you use when you go swimming. When you inflate it with air, it's tight. When you deflate it or take the air out, it's not of much use. That's how the lap band is. So it's a circular piece like this, and you put liquid in there, and the more liquid you put in, the tighter it gets and the more restriction there is. And when I say restriction is going to be, it's going to determine how much food can go through. Because, if you have a hole this big, obviously that's a lot of food that can go through. If you have a hole like this big, you can barely get a finger through, whereas before I could get the entire hand through. So the more liquid you put in it, the tighter it gets. So it could start out like this, and then you put liquid in it, and it can go like tighter, tighter, tighter. If you take liquid out, it goes looser, 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 like that. And then this part right here is where the food goes through. So that's pretty much how that works. But so for the year and 3 months that I had it, I don't understand why the lowest weight I ever got to was like 199 pounds. My highest weight was 242, but I got down to like 199, and I was going hard when I got down to that weight. I was drinking nothing but water, working out every single day. I didn't eat more than 1,200 calories. I cut out all carbs and all sugars. I felt like I was doing about 95% of the work, and the lap band was only doing about 5% of the work. So my thing is, I was fed up. I was over it. You know, I had made a video saying my weight loss surgery didn't work and all of this and all of that, warning people against it. And when I initially even signed up with YouTube, it was because of the lap band. That was why I wanted to document my entire journey from the very beginning to the very end. I wanted to show before and after pictures, and, you know, I wanted you to embark on the journey with me and, like, you know, witness me at my highest weight and my lowest weight and all the weights in between. And, you know, I wanted you to see what I was eating, what I wasn't eating, what worked for me, what didn't, and all this kind of stuff. So that's why I even got on YouTube. And then when I noticed that I wasn't making a lot of progress, I stopped making those videos and I started making health and beauty videos, and, you know, started talking about makeup and hair and nails and clothes and all that kind of stuff. And on that channel, I actually have more than 1,000 subscribers. On this channel, I don't have anywhere near that many subscribers, because after a while of making beauty videos, I was like, what's the point of being beautiful if I'm fat? I still need to focus on weight loss as well, you know, eating healthy and stuff too. So I was like, I'm going to make a weight loss channel again, in addition to the beauty channel. So I did. And then, you know, I have a third channel as well, but that one's my pregnancy and baby channel. It's dedicated to my baby, and, you know, when I was pregnant, I had videos up from there and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. But what I'm here to talk to you about today is that, okay, after the pregnancy, I wanted to try and use it again, but I had to have a revision surgery because the baby kicked the port and it flipped it upside down, and it wasn't usable, you know. So I was telling him, you know, the doctor, I was like, the entire year that I had a lap band before I got pregnant, you guys would not give me more than 2 cc's of liquid in my lap band. Like, you refused. You were saying, because every time I went to the appointment to get a feel, they would give you an x-ray first. They would have you drink something, and then they would watch it on the x-ray how it actually went down. And they were like, oh, that's plenty of restriction. That liquid is going down very gradual, very steady. It's not going down too slow. You know, that's the perfect amount of restriction. So they would not go more than 2 cc's. And 2 cc's, as I mentioned, that's the liquid that goes inside the lap band that determines how tight it gets. And so I was like, that's probably why I'm not losing weight, because the band is made to hold like at least anywhere between 8 and 10 cc's. And if I'm stuck at 2 and you refuse to go higher, I felt like that was contributing to me not losing weight. And so he was like, no, you know, that has nothing to do with it. You don't want it too tight, because, you know, that can actually harm you. So I was like, okay. So I was like, I'm not going to get revision surgery and then you do the same thing you did before, which is stop at a maximum of 2 cc's. If I do this surgery, then you need to give me more liquid. And the beauty about this is that we can unfill it. We can adjust it. You know, it's just, that's the one thing I do like about it, because when I was pregnant, I was able to take all the liquid out so that my baby can get all of the nutrients and minerals that she needed through me eating. And then once I gave birth, I was able to tighten it back, so that gave me restriction again. But I was like, let's just try it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You know, if I feel like super sick or something, I'll go to the emergency room and we can do an emergency unfill and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay. And they would tell me, you know, we've seen people end up in the hospital from dehydration. They couldn't even swallow their own spit, you know, like it was hard to even get liquids down. You don't want to be that person. Like, I'm trying to tell you right now that it being tight does not have a direct correlation with your weight loss. You know, some people can hold 5 cc's, some people can only do 2, and then there are other people who can do 8. It all depends on your body. Like, well, obviously what we were doing before is not working, and Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So if 2 cc's was not helping me lose weight, I don't care what you're saying, you need to put another cc in. And he was like, okay, all right, okay. So he went ahead and put another cc in. And that was a month ago, because I had the revision surgery at the end of September. And so then in November, I got my first feel since that surgery. And yeah, he was right. I could barely get liquids down. Every time I ate something, I threw it up. I mean, it became second nature to me. I expected to throw stuff up. It didn't even make it into the stomach. Like, I don't want you to think I ate it and then I like was vomiting. It was more like regurgitation, because if the stomach is down here, right, it got to the lap band piece, which is right here, and it will go in like this, and it would try to get through, try. Oh, I'm not getting through, so I'm going to go back up and come back out. That's what it did. So it wasn't really vomiting. Vomiting, I think, and throwing up is when it actually makes it to the stomach. So I was actually excited. I was like, I'm going to be skinny. I'm going to be skinny. I was excited because I was getting the taste. I was going through the motions of chewing and swallowing, but I did not have to deal with the repercussions of the fat content or the calorie intake, because it wasn't making it into the stomach. I would chew it, throw it up, and that would be that. So I thought for sure I'm going to definitely lose weight. You know, it's like the best of both worlds. You know, you get to taste it and it tastes good, but then you don't, it doesn't, you know, you don't digest it. So you're not storing anything. Honey, let me tell you something. I went to that doctor today, and I realized I haven't lost a pound since the last time I was there, even after all this throwing up and stuff. I said, go ahead and take some of that liquid out, because you were right. I can't. I mean, I remember one time I was drinking too fast, and I guess the liquid was building up because it wasn't going through as fast as I was drinking. So, well, this is how it basically went. So, like, if the thing was like this, the liquid is going through, but it's going through like slowly, like that, right? But I was drinking like that, so the liquid was actually piling up. It was like waiting to go through, because it would get to this part and like stop and then go gradually, slowly through or whatever. I don't know if that makes sense. But I threw up drink because I was so thirsty. I felt dehydrated and I wanted the drink so bad. Like, I was like gulping it down and it wasn't working. So I had an emergency unfill. But you know what I really was going to do today? I was going to go there and say, hey, I'm perfectly fine. Things are going down. I'm able to eat everything. Give me another CC, because I was going to get as many CCs as possible, and to the point where I was just completely starving. And then I would lose weight. I mean, of course you lose weight if you starve, right? But then I had an epiphany and a light bulb came on my head. And I was like, you know what? That is totally unhealthy. Do not do that, you know, because it's just not healthy at all. And, so I ended up getting some fluid taken out, and that was the last thing that I would have ever thought would have happened. Because, you know, I feel like beauty is pain. So a lot of people get their eyebrows waxed. That hurts. People wear high heels. That hurts their feet sometimes. I mean, people wear girdles to suck in their fat and rolls and stuff, and that's uncomfortable. You can't hardly breathe. So beauty is pain. So my thing is, I was equating starving to, you know, oh, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to reap the benefits. In the end, it's going to be all worth it. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I've tasted everything in my entire life. I know what it tastes like. I'm not missing nothing. And even if I am missing something, I'll be able to taste it once I get down to my goal weight. Honey. I got the Unfill. And I got home, and this is the first time I've ever eaten something in the last 30 days and not threw up. I was actually pretty scared. I was taking tiny bites and chewing really slow, and then I was able to eat it and swallow it, and I just waited. I was like, wait on it. Oh my God, I didn't throw up. So yeah, anyway, there's what you call a sweet spot, and a sweet spot is where it's not too tight and it's not too loose, and it's perfect. And once you find your sweet spot, supposedly that's when you'll start losing weight. And I think because I was at 2 cc's for so long, obviously it wasn't my sweet spot, but they were also kind of afraid to give me more because it looks so restricted. So this time, you know, when they gave me 3 cc's, that was too tight. So this time they only took out half of a cc. So right now I have 2.5 cc's. And I'm thinking, you know, the 2 cc's was too loose, the 3 cc's was too tight, so this might be it. So I'm crossing my fingers. If this does not work, I'm telling you right now, I am going to make a billboard and say, do not get lap band surgery. I'm okay with gastric sleeve and gastric bypass and all those other ones, but lap band, no ma'am. And it's supposed to be the less It's the one that's not as invasive. It's the one that's adjustable. It's the one for those patients that aren't like super big. You know, that's what it's supposed to be. Like you're on the brink. You're on the cusp. You're right there at that line where you're not like super, super, super big, but you're like too big, you know? That's what it's supposed to be for, and that's why I got it. But I should have got one of them other ones. I'm not saying weight loss surgery doesn't work, but lap band is a very trying one. It's very challenging, and I know people personally who's gotten gastric and who's gotten the sleeve, and their weight just literally melted off of them, and they did not have to do none of what they're telling me to do for this lap band. They didn't say drink no water, eat healthy, work out, none of that. Okay, none of that. But I'm okay, you know, I know that I should be doing those things anyway, and you know, it's partly my fault, but the PCOS that I was talking about earlier in the video is one of the reasons why I'm overweight and how it's so difficult to lose weight having that condition. People just do not understand. You need to research it, Google it, do whatever you need to do, Wikipedia it. It is a beast. I told you, it already said I was infertile. And then another thing is the weight gain and not being able to lose it like normal people. Like, I know people that can go work out 2 to 3 times a week, drink a couple of glasses of water, eat a little bit of lettuce, and they'll lose weight. With me, I have to go hard. I mean, you can't do like little subtle things. You can't half-ass it. You have to go hard in order for you to reap any type of benefits or see any type of progress. And so that's one of the reasons why I got this, is because I was like, what I'm doing by itself is not working, so I need something else to couple that with to like go hand in hand. So, but anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that, yeah, I got an Unfill today, and we're going to see how this works. And sorry I haven't been making videos, but now you see why. Because I've been going through that whole regurgitation stage, and, you know, just, you know, that was really agitating, and I wasn't losing weight because of it. I guess my body was storing any type of nutrients that did make it through. It was storing that and keeping it, because I was in starvation mode, basically. But, you know, I'll let you guys know how this works. Bye.